Welcome to Google Weekly.
Welcome, my name is Bjorn Berendt, and this is the Google Weekly Podcast, which is part of the AskBG.net network of EdTech services. Never stop learning. This is episode 21. It's hot in Vermont, recorded March 20th, 2012. Welcome, everybody. First of all, the inspiration for the show. It was about 80 degrees outside here in Vermont. Now, mid-March in Vermont is supposed to be around 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and I think 5 years ago when my daughter was born in mid-March, we had a major snowstorm I think we had like 2 feet of snow. Well, today it was shorts weather, and I'm out on the grill wearing my shorts. My daughters were outside playing. We were actually flying a kite. So 80-degree weather. It was very fun, very nice, a little bit unseasonable, which worries me a little bit as to what the summer is going to entail, but it was a great, nice day, and I had a lot of fun with my daughters playing outside. So on to the show. The listeners link on the website, the Lino-it Post-it notes. We've had a few people post to that. I thought it would look out great. It looked great. And I'm looking forward to more people posting. So if you're a listener to the show, please go to the website, click on the listeners, and add your post-it. It does not require any new usernames or anything else. So just put it in, put your information in, say great show, and it's a great way to support the show. Speaking of supporting the show, I've also added to the forum a show ideas forum. And this is ones I'm looking for from feedback from you as to what you want to hear about. So please go hit the forum there. It's the Show Ideas Forum. Fill in some more information. The forums on the website, you can log in using any of your social networks. So you can log in with your Google account, your Twitter account, Facebook, LinkedIn, quite a few other ones. So you don't even need to create a new username. You just log in with your current social network. I did notice that within the school that has social networks blocked, that feature wasn't available, so you either need to unblock something or log in where you do have availability to those social networks. I have also added a co-host forum, and that's in response to last week's show with Derek, and I thought that worked out great. I thought it gave a great dynamic to the show, and I'm looking forward to having a few more co-hosts coming on. So please, if you are familiar with Google and would like to come on the show and talk about Google and the news and be a co-host for the show, I would love it. So please fill out that form and let me know. The last little bit of news for the show is that my YouTube channel, which actually is Ask Bjorn, which is a spinoff of my business, which was Ask BJ, and that's kind of how I've been branded since college. But it has been upgraded to the YouTube EDU channel, so this is going to be listed on the educational side of things. I have been approved for that, and I'm excited. And it's another way that you can subscribe and watch to the show, because I do post each of the shows up on YouTube. It takes probably a day or so later, but it gets posted there. And on to what's new in Google. Well, there is an on-air conference, and I have information about this on my website, and we're looking for a request for proposals, and the proposals are due this Friday, March 23rd. So in 3 days, or in 2 days, if you're probably by the time I get this recorded out there, you can put the request for proposals. And what this is going to be is it's going to be a full online conference using Hangouts. You'll be able to attend the sessions. You can either attend the Hangout itself, and there's only 10 slots open per session, or unlimited amount of people can view it using the YouTube live stream. So I'm really excited about this. The actual conference is going to be on May 2nd from 1 to 7 Eastern Standard Time, USA. And this actually stemmed from an idea that I pitched to them. They were a few months ago, or about a month ago, they were asking a couple of us certified trainers if we had any ideas on how to promote their Google Hangouts. And I've always wanted to do a online conference. I thought it fit very well into almost like a flipped classroom, but a flipped conference where teachers and everybody can just go online, get the information, and then at in-services and such, you start using the information. So the conference is going to be May 2nd from 1 to 7 Eastern Standard Time. And the proposals, if you want to present, is going to be due this Friday, March 23rd. And stay tuned. I will keep that link up on the website with more information on that. Okay, on to what else is new in Google. You can now star and label messages before you send them. So if you're someone that wants to make sure this is going to be important and you want to reply to it, or you want to make sure you can keep track of it, or just file it right from the send, you can now star and label them before you hit the send button. Before you had to do that after the fact, so it sometimes gets lost, but that's a great feature. I'm glad to have seen it, and I'll probably be using it in the future. One of the other things, you can learn why a message has been flagged in spam. And this is actually really nice. So if you go to the spam folder, and I don't think everybody has this yet, so it still has to roll out, but when you click on a spam message, it's supposed to pop up with a little message up top and explaining why it is been marked as spam. And I think there was about 6 different categories as to why it can be marked as spam. And on the link that I'm going to put in the show notes, it kind of gives a little bit more of an explanation about each and what each of the things is, such as what is phishing and things like that. Okay, and the last bit of news for this week is that Gmail's new look is going to be released to all users starting March 27th. And what this basically means is you no longer have the option to opt out of the new look. Everybody's going to be using that. And I've been using it, and I've gotten kind of used to it, so I think it's a pretty good thing. Now, on to the what's current in Google. And I thought I'd be talking about a feature that got brought up to actually this week. A teacher was talking about how she can do multiple columns in Google Docs. And there really is no good way to do multiple columns in Google Docs. When I do it, I usually use the tables feature, but it's not the best. But what she was doing is she was actually tabbing over. And so that got me thinking, and I said, oh, well, if you're going to be doing the tabbing over, which worked out really well for her, you can actually add custom tabs. So you can choose where the tab marker is going to go, and you can adjust the tab even after the fact. So you don't have to go 5, 10, 15, 20. You can actually go 23 spaces ahead. And all you have to do is on the new look there, you'll have the ruler. And all you got to do is just click once on that ruler where you want the tab. And you'll have a choice between adding a left tab, center tab, or right tab. And you can add several of them within this. And you can, once you've added it, you can move your mouse over it and click and drag it to the left and right to kind of tweak where you want the tab. Or you can just click it and drag it down to remove the tab. So that I thought was a great feature, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. So adding those different tabs to Google Docs. Okay, and on to the app exploration part of the website. I have some pretty cool apps that I thought I had chosen. And the first one is going to be DocuSign. And I'm going to have to open this up, so I forgot to do this first. Okay, DocuSign is a way to add a signature service to different documents within Google Docs. I was watching one of their little videos about it, and I thought it was really cool because you can open up a Google Doc that was created and insert your signature into the document. So you have an attachment. You can open up the attachment, insert your signature, and send it back off with your signature included. Now, the service is supposedly free, or I think there's at least a free plan. And it seems to have some pretty good reviews. I've installed this. I haven't used it yet, but I thought it was a really good app, and I am looking forward to using it. The next is the Chrome Web Store, and what I chose this week was something called, I'm opening it up, Psykopaint. And this is a fun little paint program that kind of takes a photograph and allows you to tweak it and add some really cool effects. Practical use, probably not that much, but fun factor, yeah, you can waste some time and create some really cool effects, especially if you're artistic with this one, and that's Psykopaint. And the last one is going to be from the Google Play, or the Android app, and this is one I use constantly with my daughters. They love this one, and it's going to be iStoryBooks. It's a free story ebook reader for kids, and there are quite a few different stories out there. They're usually a variation of the traditional stories of, Cinderella or things like that. They're not the actual Cinderella stories, but they're the variation of those. And they have someone who actually reads these. So my daughter can go per page and have it read to her, or I can read it to her, or she can just look at the pictures and begin to read herself. So I thought it's one of her favorite books, and I know at night when I go tuck them in and I want to read them a story, there has been times where she has requested us to sit down with my phone and use the iStoryBooks app and read some of the stories from there. And I'll actually physically read it, so I still get it from it. It's just in a digital format, so a new way of looking at things. And I think that's going to wrap up the show today. So thank you very much for listening to the Google Weekly Podcast with your host, Bjorn Berendt. You can follow the podcast and contribute by going to google-weekly.net. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, or Google+. And I encourage you to get the conversation going around the show by posting comments or using the hashtag GWPodcast within your social network. Again, thank you for listening, and never stop learning.
This is Torrance, and thank you for listening.